Okay, in this video we'll be making the parts for our puzzle cube, and we will begin with the red part right here, which is a very basic shape. It looks almost like an L, and we're going to actually draw a square and then cut away this area. So we'll be drawing a square that is 3 blocks across, come on, 3 blocks tall, and then we'll cut out this little lower left-hand corner. And we'll be doing that in Inventor in an IPT file, which is a part file. So we're going to open Inventor. We'll click on New from the pop-up menu, Create New File menu. We're going to choose right up at the top here, standard.ipt. I'll double click on that. And that gives me the standard drawing board. And it opens up with my sketch tools. And remember, in Inventor, sketching is drawing two-dimensionally. And we are going to draw a square. And to begin with, we're going to click on the rectangle tool in the upper left-hand corner. We're going to come dead center of our drawing board. When our pointer turns into a green dot, we're going to click, drag up and to the right. At this point, we don't care whether we have a square or a rectangle or how large it is. We're going to dimension now. I click on the dimension button, and that is in the center of the toolbar. And I'm going to click and pull up on the top edge of that rectangle that I just drew. Now, I need to enter 2.25, which is 3 of the squares, or 3 of the little cube blocks that we have that make up this part. I can enter 2.25, or I can enter 3 times 0.75, which is 3 of those cubes. And the nice thing about Inventor is that it can do that calculation for me. Because I'm 3 blocks wide, I don't have to know what 3 times 0.75 is. I can enter that as a dimension, and Inventor will do the calculation for me. I hit enter. Now I'm going to pull out the left edge, and that's also going to be 3 cubes. So I'm going to enter 3 times 0.75 again. And now I've kind of moved, my drawing has kind of moved off my screen, so I'm going to click on front. There I have my square. It is 2.25 inches from left to right and 2.25 inches from bottom to top. I'm going to finish my two-dimensional sketch, and now I'm going to extrude. Now, if you remember, our red part is only 1 block deep, so that is going to be 0.75. And right here where it says 1, I'm going to enter 0.75. And now I have a shape as the beginning of my L. I have to draw a little block here, or square I should say, that I'm going to cut away. So I'm going to, if I have to draw, I have to get my pencil up here in the upper left-hand corner. Click on the surface I want to draw on. Now I have paper. And again, I get my sketch tools across the top of the screen. I'm going to click on rectangle. Come to the bottom left corner. When I have my little green dot, I know that I'm in that corner. I'm going to click, pull up and to the right. And again, I don't care about the size when I'm actually dragging my rectangle, because I will be dimensioning this precisely. I'm going to pull this top edge of that little rectangle that I drew down and off of my little cube. I'm going to enter 2 times 0.75 because it's 2 of those little cubes across. I'm going to pull the right edge of that little rectangle that I drew to the left, 2 times 0.75. And now I have a little area that I can cut away. which will leave me with the red surface that is or the L-shaped surface that is my red part. So I'm going to click on extrude. Now extrude can do two things. Extrude can either add material or cut away material. And right here in the center of this little pop-up menu, there is a shape that I'm not quite sure what it represents, but I'm going to click on the black arrow to the right of that shape, and then I get a pop-up menu, join, cut, intersect, new solid. I'm going to choose, cut. I'm going to click on that surface that I just drew, click on my check mark, and there's my red L-shaped part. Now, to keep track of my parts, I'm going to try to color them the same color that they are. So I'm going to color this red. And when I go to save, I'm going to go File, Save. And what I need to do is create a folder. And you should be working on your network folder. It should have your initials and ID number. Because I'm a teacher, mine's a little bit different. In your DDP or tech folder. And I want you to create in that DDP or tech folder a puzzle cube folder. And in the upper right hand corner of this save window is a little folder with a red asterisk. I'm going to click on that. That creates a new folder. I'm going to call it Puzzle Cube 2 because I already have a Puzzle Cube folder. And then I'm going to click on that folder and save this part as the red part. Okay, just red. Click Save. Now I've created that part. I'm going to close this. Okay, so we just made the red part. The next part I'm going to make, I'm not going to do the light green part because it's very, very similar to the red part. In fact, it's almost identical except it's missing one cube on this side right here. So I'm not going to remake that part. I will be making the blue part though. The blue part is a little more difficult than the red. And you can see as I look on the front, excuse me, as I look at the front of the blue part, it goes 3 blocks across from left to right, 2 blocks up and down. And then we'll draw that and extrude it 1 block, and we'll cut away that area, and then we'll turn it and draw that little block on the back. Okay, so it's a little more complicated than the L shape, but it uses the same steps, or we will use the same steps to actually create this part. So again, we're going to just begin with a rectangle that is going to be 3 blocks from left to right and 2 blocks up and down. Next step will be to cut away that area, and then last step will be to create a little block on the back. Okay? So we're going to go back, new, standard.ipt. Remember, standard.ipt stands for Inventor part. I'm going to click on the rectangle tool in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to click when I have a little green dot and drag up and to the right. And again, we don't care how large this is when we first draw a rectangle because we are going to dimension this. And to dimension that, I click on the dimension button in the center of my toolbar. I click on the top edge of the rectangle. I pull straight up, click 1 time, and now I'm going to enter 3 times 0.75. And then I'm going to click on the left edge, pull that to the left, click once, and enter 2 times 0.75. Okay. And now I'm going to finish. Whenever you're done with something in Inventor, you have to tell the computer you're done using that tool or doing that step. And we are finished sketching, so we're no longer going to work two-dimensionally. Now we're going to extrude and make this three-dimensional. It automatically, when you begin a part, tries to extrude 1 inch or defaults to 1 inch, and we're going to change that to 0.75. And that's the basic part for our blue part, or basic shape. Now if you look right over here, I have that part again, and we just have to cut the upper left-hand corner away. And it's going to be 1 block, so it's going to be a 0.75 by 0.75 cube, or excuse me, square that we're going to draw, and then cut that away. So I'm going to get my pencil. Whenever I have to draw, I need a pencil. I'm going to click on the surface I want to draw on, and that gives me my graph paper. I'm going to click in the upper left-hand corner on the rectangle tool. And now, when I'm in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to click, pull down and to the right. And again, as we've done with all the other rectangles that we've drawn, we're not really concerned with the size of that rectangle just yet. We're going to dimension it now. I'm going to click on the right surface, pull it to the left, 0.75. Click on the bottom surface, pull it straight up, click, 0.75. And that's all I have to do. I'm going to click Finish Sketch. I'm going to extrude. And remember, extrude can do 2 things. It can cut or add material. I'm going to click on this button right here. Click on Cut. Choose that surface. Click on the green check mark. Now if I look at my actual blue part, at this point, it looks exactly like the part as I have it drawn in Inventor. But there is one difference. If I rotate this blue part around, I have a little section right here where 1 cube comes off of the back edge of this blue part. So I have to add that on my part in Inventor. First thing I need to do is rotate the part around so I can access that back edge. And then again, if I'm going to draw, I have to have my pencil. I click on that surface, and now I have paper, and I'm going to draw a rectangle. I'm coming to the upper right-hand corner. When my pointer turns green, I click, and then I'm going to come down and to the left, and again I'm going to dimension this rectangle that I've drawn, 0.75 by 0.75. I'm going to finish that, which means I'm done drawing two-dimensionally. Now I'm going to make that little drawing that I did three-dimensional. I'm going to click on Extrude. This time we're adding material. I click on that surface. 0.75 is already entered here. If it isn't, I just want to enter 0.75. And now I'm going to come up to my little house up here. That represents the home view. And now I have my blue part completed. I'm going to click at the top of the screen where it says Default. And I'm going to change that to blue.